broadcast nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Lami Ali. You can follow us online on nta.ng/live or any of our social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. The 63rd Ordinary Session of the Authority of ECOWAS Heads of State and Government has opened with extension of gratitude and congratulations on the successful conduct of Nigeria's election that led to the emergence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the President of Nigeria. The President of Guinea-Bissau, Umaru Sissoco Embalo, in his opening remark, commended Nigeria for the sustenance of peace and strengthening of democracy in the West African sub-region. He said that the measure of power in Mali, the Republic of Guinea and Burkina Faso, and subsequent prolongation of the transition period represent a regression of the values of democratic rule of law adopted by member states through the supplementary protocol on democracy and good governance. He maintained that the return of democracy in the three countries was an imperative need for political stability and the promotion of democratic rule of law and the well-being of the people of West African sub-regional community. In particular, Nigeria's former President Muhammadu Buhari was commended, while as the President of ECOWAS from 2018 to 2019 for ensuring political stability in the Gambia, as well as the building of an ECOWAS headquarters in Abuja. So far, the 63rd session has been ranked the most attended by heads of states and governments. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as the 63rd Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government Summit, is expected to address memoranda on pressing sub-regional issues, including reports of the 50th Ordinary Session of the Mediation and Security Council, covering security challenges faced by the member countries. Other items slated for discussion include memoranda of the ECOWAS Single Currency Program and the reports on obstacles to free movements of goods on the Abidjan-Lagos corridor. While in Guinea-Bissau, the Nigerian leader is scheduled to hold bilateral meeting and have other engagements on the sidelines of the summit. President Tinubu is accompanied by some members of the Presidential Policy Advisory Council and other top government officials. Now, the Nigerian Air Force will continue to operate a professional service that is properly structured and adequately trained to meet Nigeria's national security imperatives. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Hassan Bala Abubakar, stated this as the passing out parade of basic military training course for the 2022 held in Kaduna. Haruna Mohammed brings us the details.
Comprising 1,123 airmen and airwomen having undergone 6 months of rigorous training, ready to defend the nation. Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Hassan Bala Abubakar charged them not to allow themselves be used by subversive elements and not to compromise national security.
We must internalize and thoroughly embrace the Nigerian Air Force core values of integrity, service before self, and excellence in all that you do.
He encouraged them to be focused, motivated, and innovative in complementing the Nigerian Air Force effort towards achieving national security imperative.
The Nigerian Air Force, in conjunction with other services, are engaged in several operations, internal security operations across the country. These operations need to be fed very good quality manpower, well trained, well equipped, so they can continue with the successes we have recorded so far in the operations.
The Air Force personnel are to be deployed to various units and commands as well as theater of operations. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
The Police Service Commission at its 21st plenary meeting has approved the dismissal of 3 senior police officers over cases of misconduct and abuse of office. In a statement, the Commission said 9 other officers were reduced in rank, including a Commissioner of Police, while it also approves compulsory retirements of an Assistant Commissioner and directed a refund of all entitlements wrongly paid to him. Similarly, the Commission approved posthumous promotion of late Inspector Ifeanyi Oroke to the next rank of ASB2 for acts of gallantry and reinstated one dismissed Inspector Augustina Oku to take effect from the date she was dismissed, and the punishment of severe reprimand on 16 officers and reprimand for another 18 is directed that letters of warning should be given to 2 other officers. From Zamfara State comes the report that Islamic scholars have offered special prayers for divine intervention in the current security challenges bedeviling the state. The prayer session was attended by the Emir of Gusau, Alhaji Ibrahim Bello, and some sub-government officials. Jamil Ibrahim has more.
The protracted security challenges bedeviling Zamfara State have continued to negatively affect the socio-economic fortunes of the state, despite the concerted efforts by the security forces to combat the menace. This is a special prayer session held by some renowned Islamic scholars drawn from Gusau and Safi local government areas of the state for divine intervention in the security challenge, which they noted is, among other things, making this year's rainy season farming very difficult, if not impossible, in many communities across the state. The clerics who took turn to offer the supplications prayed for peace and affluence to reign in Zamfara State and the country as a whole. They also prayed for Allah's continuous guidance and protection to leaders at all levels.
I believe, inshallah, Allah will answer our prayers and they will come to the end of these problems that we are facing.
I'm appealing to our people. They should be patient and at the same time they should be cooperative to the security agencies. If you have any information, please don't hesitate, share it with security agencies. Part of the problem our security are encountering is a lack of information.
Zamfara State Governor, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Bakar Muhammad Nokwada, maintains that security remains the priority of his administration as it is the basis for any meaningful development. The special prayer session is built to be held regularly in all the emirates across Zamfara State. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Now, the 375 kilometers Abuja-Kaduna-Kano dual carriageway project will be completed before the first quarter of next year. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Works, Housing Mahmouda Mamman stated this while on a visit to inspect the progress of work. Adamu Sunday has the details.
Major link to Northwest and Northeast State and beyond. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Mahmoud Mamman, who is on a routine visit to monitor the progress of work on the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano dual carriageway, identify practical challenges affecting speedy completion of the work and mitigate them.
The contractor has actually promised to deliver that by the first quarter of next year, the whole length of the project is going to be completed. And I think we are going to take his timeline and go along that way.
He, however, complained about the slow pace of the Kaduna Western Bypass project, which he says funding is not an issue, thereby assuring Nigerians of calling the contractor to order.
We saw the situation how it is. And in fact, me and my team, we have already sat down, we talked, we strategized, and believe me, by the time we get to the office, we are going to adopt a different strategy, and God's willing, the project is also going to start at a very fast rate.
Also visited is the Julius Berger yard, where the Permanent Secretary was briefed by the project manager on the progress of work with the promise of completing the project as scheduled.
We are heavily working in the so-called Section 1, which is the stretch between Abuja and Kaduna. Everybody can see the works are really running well. We are totally on track in this part.
These projects upon completion are expected to ease vehicular movement, reduce traffic congestion in the city center, and boost socio-economic activities. In Kaduna, Adamu Sunday, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide. We're going to take some messages now. All right, we're going to take another story before we go to the break. Apongbon Bridge in Lagos reopens after a year and 4 months closure by the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing for repairs. Motorists who had to rely on other challenging routes can now breathe a sigh of relief. Diana Ajale reports that Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu formally flagged the reopening of the bridge to traffic.
Built in 1975, Akwangbo Bridge is one of the 3 bridges connecting Lagos Island to the mainland and the nation's seaport. Unfortunately, in March 23, 2022, a fire outbreak damaged a portion of this significant bridge, and it has since been closed by authorities for repairs, with Lagos residents and motorists relying on alternative routes. The good news here is that Lagosians can now ply the popular route with the reopening of the bridge to traffic after a year and 4 months.
This opening is not the final one. Intermittently, we're still going to be closing for future repairs. It is a comprehensive repairs that was awarded to the contractor, and the contractor is not even midway before the fire inferno started that prompted the contractor to abandon all the other works and then focus on this damaged section.
Excited Lagos residents and motorists thank the government for the rehabilitation of the bridge.
I'm a driver in this route. In fact, I was inside the park. I heard that they are going to open here today, so I have to rush down. Let me come and witness it by myself. And I see that's true that have opened it.
Feel highly excited. Lagosians, the whole Lagosians, we feel so excited about this road. We are very, very happy with the Lagos State government, with the federal government of Nigeria.
The governor of Lagos State, who flagged off the reopening, however, warned traders and other occupants with various activities under bridges in Lagos to vacate immediately, as such will no longer be condoned.
There's still a lot of work that we'll be doing, but we needed to open and get the bridge to be opened so that we can reduce the hardship that commuters, that travelers, that people have on this part of the city.
The Eco Bridge, which starts from the mainland and ends at the Akwangbo area of Lagos Island, spans a distance of about 40 meters, with its land-breadth extension of 1,350 meters, serving as a major route to Apapa through Lere and its environs. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
To set up a landmark of economic activities for the people, the Cross River State Governor, Senator Basiutu, is asking the federal government to step up action in the dredging of the Calabar Ports Channel, as this will facilitate the export aspirations of the country. The governor made the appeal while receiving the management team of the Calabar Port at the Government House. Justina Atim reports.
The Calabar Port is said to have recorded significant milestones in recent times, having moved from receiving 4 to 16 vessels monthly, but in the wake of this feat are different encumbrances. Finding a lasting solution to the setbacks brought the port management to seek assistance of the Cross River State Governor. Governor Otu believes that if the port is active, it will attract investors, boost tourism and revenue generation, assuring to liaise with different security agencies to safeguard the port and waterways for ease of doing business.
I must also say thank you very much for marketing the port so well, even though it's part of duty, but to go and get cargoes from those places that you've gotten, it's excellent. We've agreed that we are going to position a vessel at that extreme, and I believe that once we have that there, pirates will find their level.
The Calabar Port manager Olumate Festus says with more cargoes berthing, the port has been able to generate employment opportunities for indigenes.
We are given mandate to see how the eastern ports will work. We have increased the turnaround of the vessels in the port.
The visit is sealed with the exchange of gifts between the state government and the Calabar Port management. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
Holding governments accountable on promises made and policies of development is a fundamental objective of media practitioners as enshrined in the nation's constitution. This was brought to the fore at a reawakening roundtable retreat on accountability imperative, holding politicians' feet to the fire by former Minister of Education Dr. Obiageli Ezekwesili and other media practitioners. Joseph Otsen has the details.
Of mass media shall at all times be free to uphold the fundamental objectives contained in this chapter of the Constitution and accountability of the government to the people.
As the fourth estate of the realm, the media has the fundamental obligation to protect democracy by ensuring public office holders deliver development. But the level at which many journalists are deviating from holding government accountable, rather doing the bidding of paymasters at the detriment of the citizens, is the concern at this gathering of media practitioners convened by Front Foot Media Initiative.
We can go back to brass tacks, to the basic issues, basic points of reference that will enable you to hold governments at all levels to account.
We want to be the good book of politicians, to curry favor, to get advertisement, to get sponsorship and all this and all that.
Much is blamed on economic hardship and lack of understanding of good governance embedded in accountability, rule of law, inclusivity and freedom of expression, among many more, for sustainable development.
We ourselves need to hold ourselves to account before we hold others to account.
And then on the issue of evidence-based accountability or facts before you start trying to bring people, politicians accountable is very necessary.
A reawakening that calls for training and retraining in the pain profession to regain its lost glory in Nigeria. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
We now go for some messages, after which we join Amina in Kaduna for more reports from that end.
We shall defend the nation from terror and all form of criminality that threaten the peace and stability of our country. Security shall be top priority of our administration, because neither prosperity nor justice can prevail amid insecurity and violence.
Your skill is key to your professional growth in the competitive broadcast media industry. Take advantage of the following programs specially packaged by NTA Television College Jos to upgrade your skill. Drama Production Workshop, date 3rd July to 21st July 2023, 3 weeks. Intermediate Online News Reporting Skills, date 24th July to 11th August 2023, 3 weeks. The course fee for the 2-week course is 120,000 Naira, while the fee for the 3-week course is 150,000 Naira only, accommodation inclusive. All courses will hold at NTA Television College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For further inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-980-9807. NTA Television College Jos, training you to be the best you want to be. Registrar Announcer.
We are Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. We are political parties. We are the pathway to political power. IPAC, in line with its core mandate, is carrying out peer review mechanism for elected political office holders. Performance of the President of Nigeria, state governors, state and National Assembly members will be assessed comparatively. This will trigger healthy competition amongst our elected politicians to deliver dividends of democracy like good roads, good health care delivery system, good schools, full employment, security, and so on. This prestigious program will soon be shown live on television stations across Nigeria. IPAC, deepening and consolidating democracy.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you.
in your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, Go TV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. Intelsat 901/332.5 degrees east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Network Center. The newly appointed commissioners in Kano State have been placed on 6 months probation as part of measures towards ensuring efficiency in governance. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf disclosed this during the maiden meeting of the State Executive Council. Abdullah Mustafa tells us more.
After their nomination, confirmation and inauguration, the 19 commissioners assumed office immediately. In addition to their primary assignments at various ministries, they, as cabinet members, are to meet weekly to deliberate on memoranda and take decision on government policies and initiatives. As the council members converged for the maiden meeting, Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf descended from his office to lead the session. His opening remarks were of congratulations and admonitions. He warned that after 6 months, any appointee with below average performance would be relieved of his or her appointment. This, he explained, is to ensure productivity and efficiency in governance.
You have to be mindful of the fact that when we are elected by the good people of Kano State, because they have tremendous confidence on us.
Governor Abba believes that until such decisions are taken, meeting the yearnings of the electorate would be difficult to achieve. In Kano, Abdullah Mustafa, NTA News.
Nigeria is strengthening collaboration with sister African countries in the Gulf of Guinea for enhanced sub-regional security against sea piracy and other cross-border crimes. This resonates at the training of students of Senior Course 45 held at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, tagged Exercise Sea Lion. Salima Rugachkun reports.
Cross-border crimes such as oil theft, illegal migration, piracy are among major violations of international laws which 13 countries in the Gulf of Guinea, including Nigeria, are contending with. To effectively carry out campaign against the adversaries in a joint battle space, students of Senior Course 45 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji undergo training on processes essential for military operation, exposing them to understanding the multinational military capability and combined effort.
Your knowledge ought to have been enriched in the planning and conduct of joint operations involving land, maritime, and air assets. The exercise also availed you the opportunity to further develop your ability in the writing of estimates, briefing with the campaign plan, as well as the delivery of mission directives and planning guidance.
Exercise Sea Lion is designed to enhance synergy in executing war objectives against terrorism in line with the campaign plan of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Suleiman Gachkun, NTA.
And that's it from here. It's back to Lami in Abuja.
Thank you so much, Amina. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has carried out a series of highly successful operations aimed at combating drug-related crimes and ensuring the safety of communities. These operations resulted in the seizure of substantial amounts of skunk, totaling 4,560 kilograms across multiple locations, including in Lagos, Adamawa, and Osun. Furthermore, the NDLEA conducted a raid on a factory laboratory situated in Ogun, which not only led to the confiscation of illegal substances but also resulted in the apprehension of 4 individuals involved in the illicit drug trade. In a separate operation conducted in Delta State, the NDLEA successfully targeted a fentanyl syndicate, leading to the arrest of 2 women directly engaged in trafficking the highly dangerous opioid. Adequate funding of cancer research is crucial in proper diagnosis and treatment. This is what the Director General of the National Institute for Cancer Research and Treatment, Professor Usman Malami Aliyu, wants the federal government to give greater priority to. Professor Usman, who said this in Abuja while briefing the media, noted that the institution is set to change the narrative on cancer prevention and treatment in Nigeria. Basi Itaipang has the story.
Record shows that Nigeria is one of the countries with the highest cancer burden, with more than 78,000 cancer-related deaths in 2020 and 120 new cases recorded every year in the country. The Director General says adequate research will not only identify the causes of cancer, but improve methods of diagnosis and treatment.
As part of the mandate of the Institute, the powers given to us by our Act is that the Institute should take leadership in the area of cancer prevention, cancer research, treatment and control in Nigeria.
He revealed that the Institute is embarking on mapping across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory to ascertain the number of cancer facilities and equipment.
That is done, we're able to say, okay, so cancer centers are in grade A cancer. You see, we should have that, and we'll let people know if you have certain kind of cancer, this is the best place for you to go. We have to do that. We have to.
This, he noted, will give room for proper coordination and harmonization in line with the Institute's mandates. Basi Taipa, NTA News.
20 friends, they say, cannot be friends for 20 years. But the regular course 493 said it's been 30 years, still together and still waxing stronger, breaking higher grounds both at home and internationally, with a bright projection for the future. Olajide Bello captured the memorable moments of the reunion of the set in Abuja.
Champion officers' mess at Wu Barracks, Asokoro, Abuja, played host to some of the best brains in the Nigerian army who rose to enviable heights in their various endeavors in the military before throwing in the towel after completion of meritorious service in the army. 30 years down the lane, the retired but not tired military officers thought it wise to reflect on the beginning, the journey so far, and make projections for the future.
We will continue to contribute for the betterment of the society using the advantage of our wealth of experience and expertise in our various fields. Therefore, it's a kind of work in progress in the sense that we will harmonize the expertise, of all these members to see how we can contribute better to national development, peace and security.
And as they grow old, they're retired now, as they grow old, they need a company, a platform that will serve as a forum for unity and association.
Some members of the set were recognized for their outstanding contributions to the growth and development of the association. Cutting of the 30th anniversary cake and other side attractions added glitz and glamour to the event. This was followed by a special Thanksgiving service at the Protestant Church, Mogadishu Cantonment, Abuja. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Now, the federal government, through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, has improved the economic well-being of some people in Akwa Ibom State by training and empowering 100 vulnerable women on various vocations. Emediong Umar reports that the training is for internally displaced persons drawn from the affected local government areas in the state.
The training of the vulnerable persons on various vocations in Akwa Ibom State by the federal government is one of the key programs aimed at alleviating poverty and ensuring that the internally displaced persons are economically improved for a viable society. Participants expressed joy and applauded the federal government for the gesture, promising to make judicious use of the program to improve their livelihoods.
Help me in nature. At least if I start producing cream, I will sell out even in the church, in the market, among my friends.
The training that we are undergoing right now is soap making, and it will help us even in our home, in the life of our children, because we will not spend money as we normally spend.
The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management and Social Development has as one of its mandates the formulation and implementation of social inclusion and protection programs, which is in line with the Akwa Ibom State Government's agenda, which focuses on agricultural revolution, rural development, and massive economic empowerment for the populace.
Also to provide opportunities to the displaced person population to take care of their own livelihood that will contribute to strengthening their psychosocial well-being and as well as help ease the stress they are experiencing.
By this program, you will learn so many things, and these things will enable you to be self-sufficient. And how do we do this? The moment you are exposed to these trainings, you acquire skills.
High point of the event is the distribution of startup pack of 30,000 naira to the beneficiaries. In Uyo, Emedi Omo, NTA News.
Nigerian students are continually proving to the world that our institutions of higher learning are reputable. This they exhibited at the British Council Cambridge Assessment International Education. They were recognized for their exceptional performance with the British Council Recognition and Outstanding Cambridge Learners Award. Adeola Kamiakere, who witnessed the event, reports that it was a thing of pride and joy for the recipients.
The outcome of the Cambridge assessment written in June-November 2022 is what has been celebrated in this hall, where over 100 students, both Nigerians and foreigners, performed excellently well.
It means that these learners are competing on an equal playing field with other learners globally and have done fantastically well.
Excelling in Cambridge examinations exposes students to a world of opportunities.
When you've got an internationally recognised qualification, then you're able to use that. And that's what I think Cambridge Assessment are providing here today.
These students, you know, they have the world on their shoulders. They can go and study here in Nigeria, go study abroad, come back to Nigeria, start a business.
And having grossed the highest mark in the world for a single subject, Ngozi Okoro emerged top in the world, while Aristotes Eloho Ofuopubiri and Emanuela Ilok were among the top in Nigeria for having the highest cumulative total standard marks over a set of subjects.
I can't even believe it's real.
And when you repeatedly do something over and over again, talking about reading and solving lots of past questions, it gets better, you get more improvement.
I was recognized for these subject awards, and I hope that many other students will be inspired by this.
Members of the British Council and the Cambridge Assessment International Education, who are proud of the young achievers, say this will spur them to greater heights in their academic pursuit.
Having 112 awardees across 55 schools and receiving 149 awards was something phenomenal.
The work we do in the British Council, honestly speaking, we can't do it without the policy direction of Ministry of Education.
Some of the award recipients who couldn't make it were represented by their parents.
They are affording us opportunity to see how our children are measuring up with their counterparts all over the world.
Present in over 160 countries, about 1 million students wrote the examination in 2022. Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
Obeyi in our Benin Network Center brings us reports from that end. Hello, Obeyi, it's over to you.
Thanks for joining us here in Benin. Lami, good to see you.
The ongoing digital revolution in Edo State is a deliberate measure taken by government to enable the state to play a key role in the global economy and in return boost its economy. Governor Godwin Obaseki stated this while flagging off the state digital project at the government house. Good luck Inaini has details.
The digital revolution in Edo State began 5 years ago under Governor Godwin Obaseki. Technological innovation were introduced, allowing for institutional reforms. In the education sector, the Edo Best initiative recorded massive results with the introduction of technology. Taking this further, and in partnership with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, the governor has flagged off the state digital project that will make the digital ecosystem in the state friendlier and result-oriented, with the citizens benefiting.
This digital world we're creating in Edo, what is it going to rest on? What are the policies guiding what we're doing and how we're doing that? It has to be simple. So that kid who is sitting somewhere in the evening and wants to go online, design software, or understands that these are the rules. It has to be simple.
Our role and our for investment is to support the state government in co-designing, co-creating, co-developing a digital policy toolkit.
Meanwhile, an agency that will be in custody and manage data from the entire state is to come on stream. In Benin, Goodluck Inaini, NTA News.
The federal government has put strategies in place towards repositioning the country's economy to recovery path and growth for improved revenue generation. This was one of the fallouts of the sensitization workshop on federal government's debt recovery drive through Project Lighthouse program by the Federal Ministry of Budget and National Planning. Ngozi Imokwede reports.
It has been established that revenue loopholes have been aided by poor information sharing and enforcement. Data from Project Lighthouse reveals that many companies and individuals who owe government agencies have refused to honor their obligations through the government platforms. For the Director, Special Projects, Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, represented by Bridget Molokwe, the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning is using the Lighthouse platform to drive process of debt recovery.
These debts are in the form of debt liabilities to the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, refunds to the government by companies who fail to deliver on projects for which payment had been effected.
According to the resource persons from Lighthouse, using automated systems to recover debt for the government is key.
Through the efforts and collaborative effort of the GIPMIS platform, government has been able to recover, approximately over 58 billion, right, from just, 11 NDAs.
Participants drawn from federal ministries, departments, and agencies commended the initiative.
I've benefited immensely from the program. The knowledge and the skills acquired will enable us key into this initiative.
The Project Lighthouse and Government Debt Recovery Drive started with the last administration. In Asaba, Ngozi Imokwede, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Susan in Makodi right after this break.
You have to move from the point where you protect and defend your religion to a point where you also recognize the rights of the other person, of the other religion, and protect it. So if I am protecting my own territory and my own people and trying to emphasize their rights and protect their rights, I should also be thinking about how to protect the rights of the others.
Both Islam and Christianity recognize and defer to God, and both recognize the temporariness of the life of this world, and that ultimately we all go back to God for the day of reckoning, when everybody will render an account of his life on this temporary abode.
itself is life. Once you lose hope, you lose life.
Once people get lifted to a certain level, they start feeling godlike.
What would you attribute this backwardness in education to in the North to date?
What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong.
The program is Reflections.
Destiny join together to place the touch of human progress in our very hands. We dare not let it slip. We lift high this touch so that it might shine on every household and in every heart that calls itself Nigeria. We hold him aloft because it lights our path with compassion, brotherhood, and peace. May this great light never extinguish.
Nigeria means unity.
Nigeria means freedom to me.
Nigeria means greatness to me.
Nigeria is indivisible. There is nothing you can do. We all have to savage it together and learn to love each other. We are indivisible.
As a mother and a leader, I will always preach for peace and unity in this country, because that is the only thing that will give us progress. Though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. And it is the woman that does that. In Makudi, as part of efforts to tackle insecurity in Taraba State, Governor Abu Kefas has visited the Taraba State Marshal Security Guards headquarters in Jalingo, the state capital. Bem Hanya reports that the governor inspected facilities at the command headquarters.
For over 8 years, the retirees were starved of their monthly pensions. This, the retirees said, has led to loss of lives of some of them, as they do not have the resources to afford medical care and out of school of their children because of their inability to sponsor them in school. Others say life was full of hardship as they had to take to begging to survive, praying God to send a God-fearing man to save them from further hardship as senior citizens.
I cannot afford even to pay my children's fees and even to buy even a mudu of maize in my home. I cannot be able to give, even for me to go to church and even have 20 naira offering to give to the church. I always beg.
For the years we are waiting for this moment, and we are facing more calamities in different angles of our life.
As you are seeing me now, I'm a diabetes patient, I'm a BP patient, all diseases, even my leg, I have problems. Since I retired, nobody, nothing. And I have suffered a lot.
With the turn of events under the leadership of Dr. Abu Kefas, the retirees prayed God for governor's life and wisdom to move forward.
I've been for more than 8 years without receiving anything. So therefore, I trust and I believe that God should be able to help this present governor.
We highly appreciated the executive governor, Dr. Kefas Agbo, with the kind sympathy for us.
We don't expect in 30 days this man, a first. In fact, we did what we cannot really say. And thank the governor for what we have done. The first 1 month, we think of pensioners.
In Jalingo, Godwin, in Alebu, NTA News.
As part of efforts to tackle insecurity in Taraba State, Governor Agbo Kefas has visited the Taraba State Marshal Security Guards headquarters in Jalingo, the state capital. Bem Hanya reports that the governor inspected facilities at the command headquarters.
Office, Governor Agbo Kefas has held security meetings with heads of security formations and traditional rulers in Taraba State to find a lasting solution to the challenge of insecurity ravaging the state. It is against this backdrop that the governor's visit to the headquarters of Taraba State Marshal Security Guards became apt. Governor Kefas inspected the offices, parade area and cafeteria with a view to rebranding and repositioning the outfit in carrying out its mandate of supporting the conventional security agencies in fighting crime and criminality. Recall that in his inaugural address on May 29th, the governor assured the Taraba people that the Taraba State Marshal Security Guards will be revived and strengthened, while his administration will ensure operational linkage between the local hunters and the Taraba Marshals. Soon after, he appointed Agiole Asenya Abe, a retired Commissioner of Police, as the Marshal's commander, who is a proven crime fighter, to help in realizing the vision of a secure Taraba state. In Jalingo, Bem Hanya, NTA News.
And that does it from Makurdi. It's back to Lami in Abuja for more on NTA Nationwide.
Thank you, Susan. Farmers Associations stage rally in support of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Musa Baba Ali reports that the farmers have also appealed to the president to appoint as minister someone who knows agriculture and the plight of farmers.
Government's social and economic policies and programs often play significant role in the development of agriculture the world over. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, during his inaugural speech, said his administration will improve on the country's agricultural output towards improving food security and poverty eradication.
To get agriculture right.
It is in the light of this that farmers' groups are appealing to the president to appoint as Minister of Agriculture someone who is conversant with agriculture.
Somebody who is an agriculturist, somebody who has an experience, somebody who is together with the farmers.
So we want at least some of us or one of us to be even appointed as a minister, because we know where it pinches us.
So I'm pleading to renew Hope administration to carry the farmers alone.
The farmers also advocate a policy and programs that will address their concerns, such as availability of farming input, mechanization and funds to boost farming activities.
The only solution to these harder farmer clashes is to introduce modern farming, that is ranches, to stop moving around with cattle all over the nation.
The same way we're expecting that the armed forces today will come with a strategy. How are they going to make sure the farmers-herders relationship will come down to a level where the farmers are free to go back to farm, and so we can be able to increase in terms of food productions.
There was a promise that is going to set up a national commodity board to put a policy, a control for the food industry, the commodity industry in Nigeria, and it's a man that keeps his promise.
There are more than 60 million registered small farmers in Nigeria, contributing largely to food production in the country. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Flooding is one of the major disasters affecting the livelihood of people in the Adamawa state, with the loss of lives, property and farmlands recorded year in, year out. As the 2023 rainy season fully sets in and the prediction of flood in many states by the Nigeria Meteorological Agency, residents of Adamawa, particularly those living as the flood-prone areas, are calling on governments to find lasting solutions to what they described as annual moments of sorrow.
is an annual phenomenon in Adamawa State, which occurs as a result of heavy downpour, release of water from Lagdo Dam in Cameroon, as well as man-made activity in the environment. These over the years became a nightmare, particularly to the people living around the flood-prone areas, exposing them to all kinds of danger, including loss of lives and valuables. During the 2022 flooding, all the 21 local government areas with 254 communities and about 200,000 people were directly affected by the flood in the state.
The flood gets into my house, and most times I have to pack my things up so that the water doesn't damage my property.
As the 2023 rain season intensified, occasioned by the anticipated flood, the Adamawa State government said arrangements are on top gear to embark on the voluntary evacuation of people living in flood areas to safer grounds, enforce the indiscriminate cutting of trees, as well as commences the desilting of drainages to avert the impending disaster.
Sensitization and awareness, and we collaborate with other sisters agencies or MDAs to mitigate the effect of flooding.
Environmental experts are also advocating for afforestation, flood-proof structures, the dredging of River Benue, and the actualization of Tasin House Dam in Fufuru local government area to contain the volume of water, among others.
The dredging could be seen as an antidote to the flooding, but then it is also having some of its environmental consequences, the dredging itself. So there is need to have a kind of a test between the consequences of that dredging and then adapting some other measures.
In Yola, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service is collaborating. All right, that's a wrong story. So I'm taking the correct one. As part of the strategies to boost the economy of Africa, stakeholders at the Rabat Conference have advocated youth engagements and improved bilateral trade in Africa. Austin Edemodu shared their perspectives during a conference on Africa growth and integration in Rabat, Morocco.
Rabat, the capital city of Morocco, is fast becoming a rallying point for African countries as part of the socio-economic strategies by Morocco to build a united and strong economy in the African continent through interactions and investments. Bello Faiza from Nigeria and Brian Lamte from Ghana are students in Morocco. They are opportune to be part of the conference being championed by Morocco to promote mutual cooperations and development amongst African countries.
Morocco has always been big when it comes to bringing African countries together, whether it's from the north to the south, the east or the west. So a program like this just shows how far they go.
But we need altogether to have in mind that we have youth and we have populations that need jobs and works and employment, and we need to create a lot of opportunities for jobs. We cannot do it by being isolated. And
part of the issues identified as bottlenecks to the growth of trade in Africa include unnecessary trade restrictions by the imposition of visa travels amongst African countries.
Unity and development, because I think that's one thing we've lacked in a long time in Africa, like African countries coming together. So I think with this, it would definitely promote unity.
But also universities and academies for football and for sports. These are also infrastructures. And these kind of infrastructures, all these kind of infrastructures have major impact on societies and on social impacts.
The recommendations emanating from the conference support the efforts of the King of Morocco and African countries to promote sustainable cooperation and development of African talents as well as capacity building. In Rabat, Morocco, I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
And Olalekon Kilajulu brings us sports updates.